I got connected to Guruji in 2005, and how I got connected to Guruji was also very different, because I was never a very ritualistic person or God believing, God loving, God fearing, nothing of those of that kinds. And I think I'd face them. Rather, I think I will be very nice and comfortable. No, that's how it is going to be. Because I speak to Hindi audience and I want to speak to English audience. Yeah, I know. It's something different. I mean, I can't help it. I have to say it. So, and in 2005, we have our own choppers. Okay, we've got 3 choppers. My husband, we own 3 choppers. So the first choppers is helicopters. Okay, so we have 3 helicopters. And in 2005, my husband bought a helicopter. Okay, I'll say a chopper or a helicopter, whatever you're comfortable. So in 2005, we got our first chopper. It was a pre-owned helicopter. We bought it from Sao Paulo, Brazil. And we are self-made people. So to collect the margin money, we got the loan from the bank. And so we paid our margin money. We bought the chopper. And when my husband went to get the chopper, to get it loaded into the cargo, the agents just ran off. And the person from whom we bought the helicopter, his export license had expired. And we didn't know, because the whole documentation was in Portuguese. And we didn't know what Portuguese, and everybody ran off, and we all went to the Indian embassy. We went to all sorts of, Brazilian official offices. And yet, there was no solution. And, but because in India, if you have got the chopper and you got the goods from outside, you've got to have it within 40 days. And all the RBI, the RBI, one of the Indian banks, they said that you must have done some money laundering, So, because your chopper is not here and it's been more than 40 days, it's been 2.5 months. And my husband, I said, you please come back and we'll sort it out. So he came back. And once he was one of our very old friends, he came over to the house. And when he saw my husband, he said, because my husband was very jovial and a very robust and very, always laughing joke guy, kind of a guy. So he said, what happened? He said, I think nobody can help me out. All the doors to the entire, I don't know where to go. I don't understand what is to be done. So he said, you don't worry, I have one guru, you go to him and he will sort out all your problems. He said, how will he sort out? He said, no, you just go. So I didn't go with my husband first. I said, you go. I'm not getting into this guru thing and all, I'm not interested in gurus, I don't know what kind of people they are. So I just went and I said, you go. So he went there and as per the instructions, he came back. And I said, did you ask Guruji something? So he said, no, I didn't ask anything. He didn't ask me anything. And you specifically told that you're not supposed to ask him anything. So I said, fine. So he just went, and when he came back, he said, whatever said and done, there's something about that place that for 2 hours, my mind just stopped and I didn't think about any business, any problem. And I was so much at peace with myself. There was nothing, no thoughts in my mind. I said, yeah. So I said, let's go again. So I went on a Sunday. Now, once I went on a Sunday, when I saw Guruji first, I was in awe. Because he was emitting so much of fragrance, and I thought he'd put, he must have sprayed some perfume around him. And I was so enamored by him. I just kept looking at him because he was so divine. He was so, you didn't know what to say because there were no words at that time. And anyway, we sat down and the Shabad Kirtan that we played today, the entire Punjabi thing was going on, and I didn't understand a word, honestly, at that time. And I started, the tears would just flow and flow and flow. And after some time, Guruji called us. He said, come. And then he asked me my name. I said, he said, what's your name? He said in Punjabi. I said, Olga. So he said, Olga? But that's not a Punjabi name. I said, yeah, it's not a Punjabi name, Guruji. It's a Russian name. So he said, okay, okay. And then he asked me all about my family. And he said, now tell me what your problem is. So my husband just narrated and, blurted out whatever problems there were, the chopper, we can't get the chopper and all. So Guruji said, no, you know what? You go back to Brazil and within 2 weeks your chopper will be here. You see, you haven't surrendered to Guruji. You just go by the word. He said, you go, and my husband went. And even I hadn't surrendered to Guruji. I said, okay, fine, we'll go. You just try and test whatever. And afterwards, my husband just went off and he blessed him with a beautiful Om pendant. And he went there. And now when he wore the pendant on Monday, he thought now, magically and miraculously things will fall in place and everything is going to be in order. So he went to the Brazilian officials and then they said, you've come back again? We told you you're not going to get the chopper. You can't get it out of Brazil. He said, what am I going to do? I'll be on the roads because all my money I've invested and all my house and properties I've invested. Where am I going to go? Because you've given so many collaterals to them. Anyway, he said, and Monday went off, Tuesday went off, and Wednesday my husband went again. He was literally thrown out by the security people. And they said, you can't come back again. And they called the police also. So he was literally thrown out of the office because he was creating so much of ruckus and chaos that he said, no, you better go. So he said, you go to Guruji and ask him, what's happening. Nothing is happening. They've thrown me out and what's happening. Anyway, I said, I'll go to Guruji on Thursday and we'll sort it out. So I went on Thursday to wherever his place was. And when I went there, there was nobody. And I said, now I think this Guru has he's just ran away. And, now what am I going to do? What am I supposed to do? So somebody said there is this Guru Purnima. Guru Purnima is when you worship your Guru. That particular day. It's a full moon night and one particular day in July dedicated to Guru, where you pay obeisance to your Guru and bow down to him and say thanks to him. So I went to the Bada Mandir and the temple, and when I went there was this beautiful music going on and a lot of things happening, and I said, I couldn't understand what Guru was because there was some music going on and there was people coming and singing outside, and I was like, I've never seen a Guru like that. Anyway, I went inside and I couldn't just stop, and there was one number she played, there was a singer. I just got up and I danced. That I give myself to you. And I fell in love with Guruji. It was like, they say that you fall in love with people, but then when you fall in love with divine, it's so beautiful, And then you say, okay, my body is yours, my soul is yours, my heart is yours, everything is yours. Now I place myself in your hands. I forgot about all the problems that I was supposed to ask from my husband, I forgot everything. And after some time he called me and said, my husband called and I was dancing, and when I danced, and after some time my husband called me and I said, you better surrender, because I surrendered. I said, now whatever's happening in my life, you take care, I'm not bothered. So he said, surrender? Okay, fine. How do I surrender? I said, I don't know. You just surrender and say he will do it. So he just went off and I went off inside and I was telling Guruji, I said, nothing is happening, there's no work going on. Anyway, so once we were back, and he blessed me a lot that day with lots of blessings. And when I came back and I slept, and in the afternoon or evening, my husband called me and he told me, I'm bringing the chopper. I'm bringing the helicopter. I said, how is it possible? And he told me, you know what? You told me to surrender. I didn't know. So I just made, big shots of whiskeys, and I had my shots of whiskeys. And I was so sozzled and drunk because I didn't know what to do. So I raised both my hands and said, okay, Guruji, I surrender. I'll do whatever you want to do. It's not in my hands. So he said, and then there was this call. After some time, he said that I got a call from the same official, the Brazilian official, and he said, can you come over to my house? And I said, I didn't know whether it was a dream or a reality because I was so drunk, I couldn't tell the difference. Anyway, he went to his house and he said, let's go to the office. So they had a backdoor entry, and once they did a backdoor entry, he gave a handwritten permission, the export license. He was an official, and he said, please take this away. 15 days permission I give you. You take the helicopter away from here. And I said that it was a dream, and he he said, okay, can you just pinch me? My husband said, can you just pinch me? He pinched. He said, whatever I was, I was drunk and I don't know where. I just went off. And he said, how come you changed your mind? He said, you must have done some black voodoo magic. Because Brazil is very famous for black voodoo and all those kind of magic. So he said, you must have done something, There is some guy inside my head, some ghost. I don't know who is there inside my head saying you've done injustice to Neeraj Bhatia, that's my husband's name. Go and rectify it. He said, please take it away and take that ghost away from inside me, So that's how. And within 2 weeks, as per what Guruji had said, the chopper was here, and that is how our journey with Guruji began. Otherwise we would have been on roads. We wouldn't know what paths to find. And since that time, we've had ups and downs in lives. But what I feel is that my first journey and my first connection with Guruji was so strong that now I feel I can't live without him, and neither can he live without me. So it's as simple. Though he's not in his bodily form, but that's the love you have for the divine. So that is how my journey started. Okay, Jai Guruji.